What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 10K on the Bay, my journey to 10,000 live listings. Today we have Lindsay, Holland, and we're going to be talking about transitioning to full-time eBay reselling. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and where people can find you?
Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay Holland. I have a YouTube channel. It's just my name, and I also have an Instagram, Linz Holland Resells. I'm 23 years old and I live in Michigan.
That's so awesome. So you just finished school?
I graduated from Michigan State in December. Yep.
Awesome. So now this is going to be your gig. You're going to be a full-time reseller.
That's the plan.
Sounds good. So when did you decide to be full? How long have you been full-time? Just since December?
Well, I feel like I'm pretty new to eBay. My mom started a store last fall and I was helping her list. I think I started helping her list like in February or March. And then it was only about 2 months ago that I really decided, like, I know how to do it. I should just create a full-time income with it. Because at first it was just like helping my mom was just going to be supplemental, but I ended up really liking it. So I've been working full-time at it, but not making a full-time income.
And I think a lot of people can relate. Maybe you're putting in full-time hours, but not necessarily making the full-time income yet. Do you think that's because you're inefficient? What do you think the main reason is for that?
I think a lot of it is that I'm kind of distracted during the day. I could get a lot more done. Also, cash flow is kind of an issue as I'm starting up, especially since PayPal is holding all my money. So it's just kind of slow, I guess, to get resources.
That's a good question. What did you major in? Did anything you learned in college prepare you for this?
I majored in nutritional sciences, so it's nothing I use on eBay, but I use it every day. I learned a lot in college just through experience, not really in my classes.
Fair enough. Yeah, I agree. Like, I didn't learn necessarily how to make money in college, but I learned a lot. I learned how to network, meet people, how to be a good person, how to spend my time, how to cram, for a specific thing. Those are all important life skills. So did you start with the, when you were in college, so you started helping your mom, and then you said, okay, I can do it on my own. Do you have a specific income goal?
Right now, my income goal would be $1,000 a week. I mean, eventually I'd like to increase it, but I feel like that's a good place to start.
Okay. And can I ask how many items are in your store?
Right now, it's 171.
171, okay. And then what do you think, this is kind of a visualization question, but what do you think $1,000 a week store looks like?
Well, okay, I figured for $1,000 a week income, for me to take $1,000 out of the business, for me just to have his income, I'd have to bring in about $4,000. And right now, if you have like a $20 an item average sale price, which is what mine is about now, I don't know, what's 4,000 divided by, I'm getting my calculator out.
No worries. Yeah, $1,000 a week is really doable. I think with a little bit more planning, and you can get there. So your average sale price is 20 bucks?
Well, right now it's 16, but I just kind of rounded it up to 20. So that was 200 items a week to sell. So okay. I think, I don't know, I'd probably want to have about 5,000 items in my store. I don't know, give or take, I guess.
Okay. I'll just give you a rough idea of what I think you can make $1,000 a week. Like, I have the low-key husky store that I've been sharing on YouTube. And basically I'm thinking, if there's 1,500 items in the store, and I sell 500 per month, so that's 1/3, at $10 profit minimum, that's 5,000. That's $1,000 a week, and that's the model. And I'm right almost. I just passed 1,000 listings this morning on that store, and it's making probably $800 a week profit in my secondary store. So I think it depends on the number or the price of your items when you first start. When I first started, it was definitely like I was only doing new, so my stuff was, I had an average sale price of 110. Then I discovered thrifting, and I was like, holy shit, everything is available for super cheap. and then my sales price dropped to 16.
Mm-hmm.
But I was getting stuff from the outlet or from where at garage sales, so my average sale price went to only $1. So it was costing me, actually not even $1, it was costing me 10 cents an item buying stuff at bulk. And then my stuff dropped to 16. And now I've learned to pass on those $16 items, and my average sale price is now 27.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it depends on your model. I think a 5,000 item thing is, a lot of people go that direction because of where they live. So is that something that plays into your sourcing?
That is definitely. Oh, sorry. I have feedback right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, is it echoing? Oh, no. Okay. So where I live, like if I find a $20 item, it's really exciting. So I feel like, yeah, right now my average profit is $10 an item. I would like to get it higher, but I'm selling a lot of like Ann Taylor, Talbot's Express, and I like selling those. I do eventually want to move away from it, but since I live in it's kind of lower income, small town, it is hard for me to find those higher price items. So I'm going to have to start traveling to source. So I live about 2.5 hours away from Metro Detroit, and that's probably where I'm going to start going.
Okay. And are you thinking of maybe getting all your sourcing done in 1 or 2 days?
Yeah. Probably about every other week. I'm thinking at least I'll have to go down there, and I think the struggle is going to be finding places to source. Since I've never sourced there before, I'm going to have to do a lot of driving around and figure out exactly where to go. But I do like to source at the bins too, but it's the same problem. It's a low sale price. So
that makes sense. So did you say that you were thinking selling 200 items a week to make 1,000, like $5 profit each?
That would be $4,000 just gross income.
Oh, gross income per week?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're going to try to get the 1,000 off of the 4?
Yeah, so that way I figured if it's 50% profit, so it's $2,000 profit, I can put $1,000 back into the company and take $1,000 for myself.
Wow, that's a great point. And I think a lot of people miss that point. You need to make more so that you have enough money to reinvest.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to live off of your income, you need to take some out. You can't just make 1,000. That's a great point. So 4,000 a week revenue, that's a healthy business. I like that. So that makes more sense in the 5,000 range. And so can I ask, if you're doing, let's say, $20 an item, the $4,000 range, that's 200 items a week.
Mm-hmm.
So can you list 200 items a week right now if you had, what do you think?
I probably could, because 5 days a week, that's only 40 items a day. That's really not a lot. And right now I'm listing 7 days a week, so I could definitely do that, yeah.
When do you list do you have a routine on when you list?
I don't have a set routine right now. My day's kind of all over the place because I feel like I'm trying to juggle YouTube and eBay and figure out a schedule. I do need to set like a certain time for listing, but right now it's just kind of whenever I can get it in, and I'm kind of working on it all day.
Gotcha. So right now, so the goal is 200 listings a week. And if you get up 200 listings a week, eventually your sell-through rate will be the same as what you put up.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, if you're doing 7 days a week, let's say 30 a day. How close are you to the 30 a day now?
I could do that. Right now I'm only listing 10 items a day just because I'm almost out of items to list. I have to go sourcing, but it's that same problem with not being able to really get items to source. So I'm planning a trip to Grand Rapids next week where I'm going to go to the bins and I'm going to try to get about 200 items. But yeah, I need to go to Detroit and get some nicer things.
So how long do you think it would take you to list 10? Let's say 10, let's go 30. How long would it take you to list 30 items?
Maybe like 3-4 hours.
3-4 hours. I agree. Like maybe at the most 10 an hour. I mean, at the least, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if that's the case, then that's 28 hours of listing, or 20 hours of listing a week. And then is your shipping process pretty streamlined? When do you do it at a certain time of the day? Do they come to your house? How do you do shipping?
I kind of just do it as they sell because I'm only getting between 2 and 5 sales a day. So I just package it up and I either stick it in the mailbox, or if it's something bigger, I just bring it to the post office, probably like in the early afternoon. So that's just kind of all over the place.
Because you're going to have about 30 sales a day, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be 3 of those post office boxes. Could you schedule a pickup? Would they come to your place?
I can through USPS.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sounds good. I am no longer allowed to do that because the little mail truck doesn't like it. So I have to go to the post office every day at the same time. But I'm trying to schedule it the same time as my lunch break, so I'm not like wasting too much time, like a mental break. But okay, so you have your shipping time, your listing time. So if you could definitely spend 1 or 2 days sourcing in a different area. Would you stay with a friend in Grand Rapids or Detroit?
I grew up I grew up in Grand Rapids, so that's where my mom lives. My boyfriend also grew up there, so he has family there. So I just stay with my family in Grand Rapids. But Detroit, I don't really have anyone to stay with. I would probably, since when we drive back and forth from here to Grand Rapids, we kind of drive through Detroit. So I would probably just like make a whole day out of traveling across the state and just source on the way there.
Gotcha. Can you tell us a little bit about what you sell?
Right now I'm just selling, or primarily selling, women's clothing. I like selling tops and dresses because right now that's what I know the most about and what's mostly available to me. I would like to move more towards like shoes and jeans, but my knowledge just isn't really there. And then eventually to men's clothing.
Okay. So what are you doing to level up your knowledge on those categories, do you think?
Following people on Instagram and seeing what they post has actually really helped, because a lot of those brands aren't available to me, but now I know if I see them, like, I should pick them up. It is hard right now, like at my Goodwill, I don't get any cell phone service. So if I do find something that's like different, I'm not sure about, I can't look up a comp. So that's kind of difficult. But usually when I go to the bins and I pick up things, that's when I learn the most, is just from being out sourcing.
So do you have a strategy when you go to the bins? What's it like? Is it like a Shark Tank? Here it's like I can't even do it. Like there's so many aggressive house moms, I can't even get in there till they're done feeding, and then there's nothing left. So it's very challenging here.
People at my bins are actually really nice. Like, it's never super busy in there. It's mostly people shopping for themselves. Like, you see a few other resellers, but I found that other resellers like leave things behind that I would normally pick up, like decent things too. So I don't know, everyone has a different niche. So
that makes sense. I often, I've gone to the bins a couple of times. When I see people, I look for where they're sorting at the end of the day, and then I'll go back through that pile. Because they've already kind of pre-sorted, and maybe they don't like something, or they're not as knowledgeable in an area. It's good to go back through people's reject piles because they've already done one round of it.
Right, yeah, I picked up things that people have thrown back in the bin, so you never know.
So if you could, like, why the shift towards men's clothing? What do you think?
Just to have more items, I guess. I feel like once I expand my knowledge, there's no reason why I shouldn't be sourcing them, especially if I want more items in my store. It'll just be easier. If I'm at one Goodwill, I can go through the entire store, as opposed to going through just the women's and having to go to 2 different stores to get the same amount of items, I guess.
Gotcha. So, like, I'm starting to sell some women's stuff, and a lady gave me the tip that I should buy dresses with pockets. And that's awesome. That actually works. So non-brand specific, using pockets in the title, actually has sold me a couple of dresses.
Yeah, I always use that keyword.
Yeah, so that's cool. And then I do use the word career in a lot of the dresses. That's actually, it's called a career skirt or something. I think the pencil skirt is is like the gateway drug in the women's clothing, because it's so easy. It's like all those skirts are 2 pictures for the most part, maybe 4 pictures if you're really detailed, but those are very easy to sell. But I don't know, it seems like the majority of clothing on eBay is also women's clothing. It's more competitive, but also higher in demand. So it makes me scared, because the men's category is not as competitive.
For me, I like clothing. I know women's clothing. I pretty much know the brand, so that's what I like. That's what I like. So that's what I'm gonna sell.
Sounds good. Do you have any interest in, you had mentioned shoes.
hmm
You can start with women's shoes.
Yeah, for sure. Women's shoes. Right now, like I haven't found any at like thrift stores that I like that I would sell, but I love shoes for myself. I worked in a shoe store for about a year and a half and I loved it. So I definitely want to get into shoes eventually.
So, do you have any tips for getting a good deal at shoe retail spots? And have you ever considered like the Marshalls or Ross or TJ Maxx runs that people are doing to pick up inventory? Is that something that you would do?
That is eventually probably what I would move to is the newer shoes. I know I worked at DSW and make sure you're like subscribed to get their coupons because they'll send you like $20 off 50 and you can use that on clearance. Also pay attention to when they do like the clearance rotation because some shoes will go down to 80% off and you can use your coupon on top of that and you can use like rewards points on top of that. You can basically get them for free. So I guess just stack coupons.
That's a pro tip. So a lot of people who resell on eBay have retail experience.
hmm
So that's awesome that you have that. So what does your inventory system look like? And has it changed?
Right now I just use bins, so they're labeled like A1, B1, C1, and so forth. It hasn't changed. That's the same thing my mom uses, and so far it's really easy. I would like to get them so they're all in clear poly bags,
Mm,
but I found that they take up more space. Like I can't fit as many things in one bin when I do that, so I'm just trying to maximize my space right now, I guess.
gotcha. And then you have that rack of clothing behind you. Is that a list next pile?
Yeah, those are all, most of that is actually for my mom's store things I need to list, but that's kind of where I've been putting things to take pictures because my mannequin is right next to it. So
Mhm. Do you use a steamer ever?
I pretty much steam all the tops and dresses. And then I kind of like let them dry kind of for like half an hour and then I take pictures.
You just do it all at once.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good idea. And then how many? Because I like the idea of having a list next pile that's reasonable.
hmm
So maybe you could just do that whole rack at once, then take a break, and then fill the rack again.
Yeah, that's kind of the plan.
Okay, sounds good. If you could fit 30 items on that rack, then you would just have to do one a day.
Yeah, it fits quite a lot. So
No, that's good. That's really, really good. So you are in a boat that a lot of people are not in, since you have trouble sourcing inventory because of your area. Most people have way too much stuff. I don't have a sourcing problem. I could probably find, if all I did was drive around, I bet I could find 10 $50 profit items a day if I spent the whole day sourcing, like from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I could even set my limit at $50 profit per item. There's enough stuff, but it's also like California traffic, the cost of living here is really, really expensive. So it is interesting. Have you considered ordering stuff versus going out to get it?
I've considered doing some wholesale lots because then you have one listing with multiple items. They're higher value items. I just don't have the capital to do that right now, but I eventually definitely want to do that.
Gotcha. So at this point, what's your do you look at it as far as reinvestment rate? How much are you taking out? Do you look at the numbers as far as like, okay, 50% of the money that comes in I'm using for bills, 50% goes into new stuff. How do you organize that?
I haven't really been paying that much attention. I kind of just pay for things and source as I go and honestly not paying that much attention.
That's all good. I mean, are you using, it's all in one account, I assume?
Yep, it's just all my main checking account.
Okay. And then I was going to ask you, PayPal jail. How long, when I started my Low-Key Husky account, I was in jail for 90 days. Has yours been longer than that?
No, I've only been in PayPal jail for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
So basically all my money is still in there.
Gotcha. So when did that happen? You
Um,
started doing some volume, I think, right?
yeah, I mean, my first probably 10 sales just went right into my account, and then after that, they started holding it.
Gotcha. So yeah, it was like 90 days for me. It was really annoying. All the stuff was stuck there. Do you have like selling limits as well that you're dealing with, or you're well below those?
My first 30 days, I only had a 10 item limit. But then after that, I just upgraded to a business account and I was able to increase it to 1,000 listings. So now I'm only at 170, so I'm not close.
Wait, I'm sorry. What's your limit? 500?
1,000.
Oh, 1,000. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But you got a ways to go.
Yeah.
What other, do you think you could get stuff from, and what's the weather like? Is it garage sale season? Is it cold?
It's moderate. I don't know. It's like in the 70s here. It can get kind of cold because we're on the lake, but mostly it's pretty warm. There were a few garage sales, and I went to some. I didn't find much stuff. It's a lot of like lower income people, and a lot of people up here just vacation for the summer. Like they just have a cottage up here, so they're not really going to have sales.
Okay. What about, is Craigslist a big thing where you live?
I know there's like a big like Facebook page, trade and sell page for the county, but I haven't really been on Craigslist. I probably should look more into like local trading things, but I haven't.
Okay. And then are you thinking about doing other platforms right now, or are you just focusing on eBay?
I eventually do want to move to Poshmark, mainly to sell my own clothing because I feel like things I wear would sell good on there. But I feel like Poshmark is also a lot more work, so I don't know if
With
I
the
really want to do that.
with the sharing?
Yeah, sharing your closet.
Gotcha. No, that's very interesting on the sourcing. I'm trying to think of the road trip. I've never road tripped really to get used clothing, but I think that would be very interesting to hit up like 30 thrifts in 2 days or something and see how much I could get at those. And then you said the outlet is how far from you?
There's one in Flint that I've never gone to, but I go to the one in Grand Rapids. So that's a 4-hour drive from here. But I mean, I'm making that anyways to go see family. So I just go sourcing while I'm there.
Gotcha, that makes sense. What is your favorite type of item to sell?
Just, I don't know, any kind of top and dress really. I like the blouses, like the chiffon. Sorry, that's my dog. The chiffon blouses, like, because I like wearing those, so I like finding them and selling them.
Gotcha. Do you want to talk at all about your other channel, and does that help you source beauty items? Because that is a gigantic category on eBay.
Yeah, I do have a beauty and fashion channel, but I wouldn't say it helps me really source. I mean, I buy like a lot of clothes for that channel. So that's mainly why I would move to Poshmark, is to sell those types of things. But
okay, no, I think it's a great transition. Plus, if you start building an audience, your customers will, you can, if they know you have an eBay store, your people who follow you can also buy from you. That's a nice transition.
Right. Yeah, it is pretty popular for like fashion influencers to sell on Poshmark. A lot of them do it straight through Instagram too, but a lot of them use Poshmark.
So here's a side question. How long have you been doing YouTube?
That channel I started maybe like 4 years ago. I started it, I think, my freshman year in college. So, but I've never really been on a schedule with it. I need to get more consistent. But
okay. And do you have any tips for people who want to start a YouTube channel? Because it's very trendy.
Just start. Like, I remember I was so nervous. Just start. Use your phone, use your laptop, use whatever you have, and be active on other social medias. Use Instagram and Twitter, and reach out to other people that are in your same kind of community.
Sounds good. Like, collaborations like this are big, guys. When I started my YouTube channel, I got on every single person's reselling channel for the most part. I would just go onto their channel, comment, and hit them up on Instagram, be like, hey, what's going on? What's going on with this or that? And hey, make sure not to assume, because for a couple of resellers, I was like, hey, why don't you have a local pickup? Why don't you drive? And people would snap back like, you don't know me. Like, so don't give other people advice really, but just comment. I would say if you're on there, be careful, because for me, I was trying to provide value, but I think it's better to just voice what you do to get out of trouble with other people. But building a YouTube thing is really good. Has it helped you with keywords? Because YouTube helped me a lot figure out keywords and titles, and that all transferred to eBay knowledge.
Yeah, with search engine optimization, I did a little bit of research on that to try to get your videos to rank higher. It's pretty much the same thing to get your listings to rank higher. Try to figure out what people are searching and just put that in your title.
Awesome. So do you have anything that you would suggest for someone who's just barely starting their eBay store? What have you learned?
I've learned that you're going to make mistakes, but that's okay, and don't worry about it, because you're only going to get better from it. Don't be afraid to go out and source new places or new types of items, because it can't hurt you. So just get started and keep going. Don't get discouraged.
So once you start growing, where are you going to put all this stuff? 5,000 item store is gigantic. It takes up a lot of space for me.
Yeah, I was talking about that with my boyfriend, because, I mean, this room, you can't really see that half, but it's all full of inventory. So we are planning on moving probably in January or early spring next year. So hopefully we can get a bigger place with more space, but if not, I'll probably get a storage unit.
Gotcha. Is your boyfriend supportive of your online selling?
Oh yeah, he's super supportive. Him and my mom are awesome. So
that is so cool. It's becoming more and more acceptable. I think it's amazing cool that your mom is supportive of you doing that. You're sort of creating your own destiny. Like, you just graduated, yet you're deciding to work for yourself.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to explain to other people. Like, right after I graduated, everyone kept asking me when I was going to get a job and how the job search was going. And I never really was looking, because I knew I wanted to work for myself. So it's kind of hard to explain to other people that don't really understand that you're trying to create your own business. So that was kind of difficult, but people stopped asking me.
Are you good at cooking? The reason I ask is with a nutritional background.
I'm pretty decent at cooking. I cook most nights. I feel like I cook the same things over and over. I love pasta, but that's really easy to cook. So my boyfriend grills, so steak and burger he does. Pretty much everything else I do.
Gotcha. Because there's a lot of people in the reselling community who have a side hustle of meal prep. Because that's a huge thing. Like, I'm switching almost completely over to that. I just don't have time. I enjoy cooking. I think I'm a good cook, but there's like so little time in the day, and I hate cooking for one. So, making a bunch of stuff, I think, is something. Would you ever consider doing a side hustle meal prep?
I mean, I eat pretty much the same thing for breakfast every day. Lunch kind of changes, but I like cooking dinner for my boyfriend and having us eat it together. So I feel like meal prep can't really do that. But yeah.
What about, are you a coffee or tea person?
I'm a huge coffee person. I drink coffee all the time, and I have a Keurig, and I love it.
Do you drink it with milk or just straight up?
Just black.
No way.
If I go out to like a restaurant, like a cafe or something, I usually put cream and sugar in it, because you never really know if it's going to taste good. But at home, I just drink it black.
Wow, that's amazing. I drink black coffee, and people think I'm crazy, but it tastes great. So you use the Keurig to make coffee. That's cool. It's fast too.
Mm-hmm.
So when would you say, you said it's sort of all over. Do you trend more towards listing in the morning, evening, night, afternoon? What do you think?
Probably in the afternoon. I need to start waking up earlier so that I can get my listing done in the morning. That's going to be kind of my goal moving forward. But right now it's kind of in the afternoon, and then I play catch up at night sometimes if I didn't get enough done.
Gotcha. So when is the next sourcing Excursion, because I'm gonna stay in touch with you and see. I'm curious if you can get 200 items to list for the week.
On Monday, we're going to drive down to Grand Rapids, so I'm going to go to the bins probably Tuesday and Wednesday and see what I can get.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so afraid of the bins. People are so aggressive here. And then the capital part, that's cool. You have a really good strategy, I think, especially since you're feeling out what you like. Have you found that your average sale price has gone up since you do a lot of tops and blouses? Does your knowledge improve, and are you saying no to some stuff that you normally would say yes to now?
Yeah, I would say like when I would go sourcing with my mom and we'd go to the bins for her store, I would pick up a lot of things I don't pick up anymore, just because I realize it's not worth my time to picture it and list it. So I'd rather buy less things for higher dollar.
Okay, so talk to me about Taylor Loft. So I see it all the time. It looks like a very average brand. Is it better than Gap?
I like selling Ann Taylor. For me, it sells better than Gap. I actually used to work at Gap, and since then I've realized their clothing is kind of cheaply made, but they price it up. I really enjoy selling Ann Taylor Loft. I feel like that's about half of what I've sold so far. It's really widely available to me at my Goodwill and at the bins, but it probably only sells, like with shipping, $16 a piece. So it's not high dollar stuff.
Gotcha. And the difference between Ann Taylor and Loft, I think it's called just Loft now.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess they try to get away from the name maybe. But what about like, tell us about some of the higher end items that you've sold. Like, have you ever found Eileen Fisher or anything like that?
Yeah, I've actually found 2 Eileen Fisher pieces local. So they're listed right now in my store. Let's see, besides that, we found some like Patagonia. Like if we find Patagonia, that's a big deal because that's like we don't ever find it. I found a Pendleton like wool coat.
Mm.
Oh, I found these at the bins. They were Dana Bushman, new with tags, like silk blazers. They were like a super crazy green and blue paisley pattern. And the MSRP was $500 on those. So I found 2 of them.
So now that do you wear thrifted clothing?
Do I wear it?
Yeah.
Not really. I have one item. It's like a vintage LL Bean like windbreaker that I found that I wear when I go walking, but that's about it.
Gotcha. Because some people never wear what they thrift. Some people always rock it. I find cool vintage pieces I want to wear, but not really like any normal stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I found something really cool, I'd wear it. I guess I just haven't really found anything that I'd wear.
I wonder if, so on your routes, are you going to spend the majority of your time at the bins, or are you going to do some retail?
If I go to Metro Detroit, I think I'm going to mainly look at like mom and pop little thrift stores. Mm-hmm. Just because that is where in the past I found they have like nice stuff that they don't mark up. And I've heard that as well. So I probably will go to Goodwill retail, but mainly just those smaller thrift stores.
So let's talk about your eBay room. So now I'm doing 100% of my stuff in this room. Like I'm forcing myself to stay in here, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm possibly going to create listing parties where I just call somebody and we just do stuff. And I found that to be really effective because like earlier I had a friend call and I wasn't able to, I couldn't do anything on my phone because she was calling me. So I was just working and doing stuff because she's like, I don't need you to talk back. I just want to talk at you and have for a minute. And that was great. I was like, I should set this up so that I can't have my phone distract me. So you're in your eBay room now. Why don't you tell us about your setup?
So this room is used for a lot of things. I film my videos for both channels. I list, I take pictures in here. My inventory is stored in here. This also is used as my closet. I have over there, my shoes are over there. I do my makeup in here. So there's kind of a lot going on in here. But yeah, I basically take pictures back there. My desk faces the corner. So that way I can put like a tripod and lights back there. And this is, I have a desk right here that I list at.
Mm. Is this your background for your fashion channel or your YouTube channel, or do you use something different, like a backdrop?
I started sitting right where I take pictures, so that it's just like a plain gray background. I used to have like really pretty things in the background, but it doesn't work out anymore with all the inventory in here.
Oh, because a lot of people wonder about that. They're trying to get their background perfect before they start YouTube, and I've like never had a good looking background in any of my videos, so I just want to give it up. But I definitely want to move that direction. Do you use lighting for your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have a ring light that I use, and then I also use those lights I actually bought to film videos. They're just umbrella lights, but now I use them for eBay, but I use them for both now.
Gotcha. No, that's cool. So what other streams of income are you looking at besides eBay and YouTube?
So yeah, with AdSense on eBay, and then I have affiliate links. So I have Amazon affiliates and eBay affiliates. And then there's also an affiliate link that I use that is good for like clothing and makeup. So mainly I link to like Nordstrom and Sephora, Ulta, places like that. So that's basically YouTube. I would love to start a fashion blog, and that's the same thing though, basically affiliate links. Eventually I'd love to move to real estate. With my boyfriend, that's kind of something we've talked about. Rental houses. I'd love to have like hotels and stuff, but that's kind of like way down the line.
You want to be a real estate mogul. That's cool. Well, you can start early. Is he also an entrepreneur? Does he have a real job? What's his status?
He has a real job. He's an aircraft mechanic, so he works full time at that.
That's cool. So you can work around his schedule. Do you ever feel lonely or disconnected just doing this?
Not really. I feel like I'm kind of an introvert. Like I like being alone for the most part. And since I feel like I'm always watching YouTube or like Insta stories, so there's kind of always someone talking. Or even if I'm just listening to an audiobook, I don't know. I kind of like being alone. I can focus and just think, I guess.
That's really, yeah, I think that's important. If you want to be a reseller, you have to be comfortable by yourself. You can't always have people always around. So let's say, what are your, let's say 3 things that you're going to immediately work on right now to help you go from where you're at right now, maybe to the next level. So let's say to 500 listings from where you're at. What's the roadmap?
The roadmap is, well, if I get 200 items from the bins, those are probably going to be all low dollar items though, between $15 and $20. And then maybe if I can go a week after that to Metro Detroit and just spend a whole day or two sourcing there and see what I can find. I mean, I've heard there's good brands. Metro Detroit actually has like the only area in the state with like Neiman Marcus and Nordstrom's and nice stores like that. So that's why it's hard, like even in Grand Rapids, like our nicest stores like Macy's. So it's hard to source there. So I'm hoping if I can get, I don't know, if I can get a couple hundred items in Detroit, a couple hundred items in Grand Rapids, that'll get me to 500.
I think that's the main gig, just trying to get 200 items.
Mm-hmm.
What if, there's Hustlebee in the chat, I gotta shout out Hustlebee. He sources $50 profit and higher. And so he'll be out all day and he might only come home with 3 to 5 items because it's hard to find that many. And he'll even go cross state. Have you considered, are there items in your category that you think you could sell for $50 to $100 that you're only paying? Like, how often do you find something that's over $50 in your category?
Like 4 times in the past couple months, just for my own store. It's pretty rare.
So people in the chat are asking, what part of Michigan do you live in?
I live in Northeast Michigan. So like if here's Michigan, I don't know if it's reversed. I hope this is right, but I live like right here on the coast of Lake Huron.
And do you have flea markets or anything similar? People are asking. I don't
think we have a flea market or anything like that.
Wow.
We have one Goodwill and we have one like smaller thrift store.
That's so small. So do you have retail around you like Marshalls and TJ Maxx?
We have Kmart.
Kmart.
And then if you go to the next town, we have Walmart. But the closest mall is like an hour away.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would be curious if that Walmart by where you live would be really good for retail arbitrage, because it's always like small town Walmarts that can't sell their good stuff. And those are the ones in the clearance section that people seem to clean up.
I mean, I've gone through the clearance section a little bit there, and I haven't really found anything. I picked up some toys to sell on Amazon FBA, and then I realized you're pretty much gated in toys when you start,
Right.
so I just have those sitting around now.
Mhm. So do you have any other resale goals besides $1,000 a week, which I really like that goal?
I mean, eventually I'd like to have a really big store, like BHFO goals, with a warehouse and lots of employees and all that stuff. My first job was working for a large eBay store. I was a lister, so that's kind of where I'm coming from as far as like I've seen how a big store operates and I know how to get there, I guess.
How big was the store that you worked at, the eBay store?
Um, they brought in the last time I saw, I haven't seen the numbers in a while, but they brought in like 1.5 million a year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what
They
is it?
were,
Go
hmm?
ahead. Go ahead.
They sold CNC machine parts. So they were really high dollar items, but they also sold high volume too.
What does a $1.5 million eBay store look like? Does it have a few employees?
They had a couple listers, a couple shippers. The way they did it, they would have people list in the warehouse, kind of write down all the information on paper, and then I would just type it into eBay. So a couple people to like strip the parts off the machines, write down all the information, and then a couple people to list them, and then a couple shippers.
That sounds right. I was looking at another store today that's 7-figure store that has 5 employees.
Mm-hmm.
Three lister / processing people, and then 1 full-time shipper.
Mm-hmm.
Just 4 people. So
Yeah.
it seems like you could get to the 7, because in between you and BHFO, there's like a middle store with a couple of employees. I think that's the best. When you have the 4 people, then it's really like an operation. You're making enough money to pay these people. The transition from 0 employees to 4 seems like quite a bit of difference. But like you're looking at $1 million store probably has $500,000 worth of stuff listed. It's so hard to get that much stuff listed on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You need the help, and you need you need like a full-time lister, a full-time sourcer, and shipper. It almost needs to be differentiated. So there's a lot of people in the chat that live in rural areas. How about, I'm just trying to think of ways you can get inventory other than driving really far away, but it seems like that's the thing. What about church sales?
I haven't found any. There's actually a lot of churches up here, but I haven't found any sales yet. So, but also I feel like it's going to be the same thing that's at Goodwill. I mean, because people up here don't really have anywhere to shop. I don't know.
Could you do are people there, do they need jobs? Like if you did a consignment situation, would you get a lot of good stuff?
I don't think so. I went into a consignment shop that's about like 30 minutes away, and they had like an express dress marked at $20, and I just left. I didn't really see anything there, so I don't think, no.
Well, so I have an okay sized audience. Is there anything that you want to ask people in the audience for them to do for you? Is there anything that you're working on, any problems that you're trying to figure out other than maybe potential sourcing?
Sourcing is my main issue right now. I mean, if you know of any honey holes in Michigan, let me know in the comments and I'll go sourcing there. But yeah, I mean, if you want to follow me on Instagram or YouTube, that'd be awesome.
Sounds good. I'll link that in the chat below, or in the description below, so people can come find you. Let's see. People are saying they've done dollar store chains. How do you feel about retail arbitrage? You think it's pretty boring?
I haven't really tried a lot of it.
Okay.
So I guess I'd have to try it more, I guess. But there's not really, I mean, up here, there's not really anywhere, like I can go to Walmart or the dollar store, but that's not really exciting to me.
What is your Instagram? Because people say they're going to DM you some advice.
It's at Lynn's Holland Resells.
At Lynn's Holland Resells. All right. That's cool. So Duncan is recommending you find someone to source full-time for you. How do you feel about somebody out there hunting for you?
I mean, if they had more knowledge than me, then that would be awesome. And I've thought about that. Like if I had a large company, I wouldn't want to spend a lot of time sourcing. I feel like a lot of it would just be wholesale as opposed to thrift stores. But I mean, it would have to be someone that probably has a store that I could look at for me to really be like, I know they know what they're doing.
A purchaser?
A purchaser?
Have you, a purchaser. Have you tried at all to start developing wholesale relationships?
No.
Okay.
No, I kind of don't know where to start when it comes to that. So.
Okay. Hopefully I can help you with that because that's been helping me a lot. Just slowly, every day, trying to find a different wholesaler to learn what you're supposed to do. Because eventually, you can only scale thrifting to a couple hundred items a week.
Mm-hmm.
My next goal is to list 1,000 items a week. I can't thrift 1,000 items a week. I'm going to figure out other ways of getting it to come to me. And then I also can't list 1,000 items a week. I can't ship 1,000 items a week. All these new problems pop up when you have a new thing, but it's just grow as you grow. Gotta shout out Catherine's Closet. She's the OG listing partner that I had in the middle of the night. So I actually recommend maybe you try that. If you are bored, maybe you can message me on Facebook and we'll list 10 items to get together to get the listing flow.
That would be awesome.
Let's see here. Okay, well, I don't have anything else to add. Why don't you let people know where they can find you, and we'll let people get back to listing.
My YouTube channel is just my name, Lindsay Holland. My Instagram is Lynn's Holland Resells, and I also have just a second Instagram, Lynn's Holland 2, if you want to follow that one as well.
Sounds good. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys are having a great time switching into full-time reselling. Have a great night.